And then we go into just the action. And then, like I said, wanted that punch right out of the gate. Throw these guys into a situation. Let's see them fight and see what's going to happen, and not enough comics have a lot of action nowadays, which drives me nuts too. Honestly, it's a lot of talkiness, and they just forgotten, how that superhero action, and I love to see that. So whenever I can, I do like nice battles, and I try to make the action very dynamic or explain it that way to Ian, so he draws it very dynamically. And because I always love that stuff, every issue used to be that Spider-Man would find a villain, and there would be a battle by the end, and then on to the next issue. I miss that. So here's Honey Flakes taking on all the Tartar creeps, showing off how awesome he is. And then we move on. He deploys Sea Rat. So this was me like trying to highlight all the coolness of each member of the team, just so you get, and it's the first issue. You want a taste of everybody, what their abilities are, what they're all about, the things they can do, things like that. So you get to see Sea Rat comes out. He cuts a bunch of Tartar creeps together with his razor sharp wings. Then Honey Flakes deploys Boxer Bear, which ended up being a lot of people's favorites. And then here comes another page that I really love. I love this action page. Look at how awesome Boxer Bear is here. You just get to see him unleash with the fury of a bear, a boxing bear, so that's great stuff. Moving on, and then all of a sudden he deploys Brewster McPunch. You get to see how awesome the Kool-Aid Man would be if he battled somebody, or my version of the Kool-Aid Man, so. And he's got like this awesome straw with, he shoot out acid, and he's got these stretchy arms and legs, so it's kind of cool to just see all this. And he cracks horrible jokes, so very fun stuff. And then moving on, Muckmouth starts to get mad and starts creating, you see here, you find out that his spittle is what's creating the Tartar creeps, and he could just keep making it as long as he can produce spit. So I'm starting to showcase how overwhelming Muckmouth can be once he creates this army of unstoppable. It's like the Hydra, he cut off one head and two appear. This is sort of what the situation is. And the Mascots decide to deploy the three robot brothers who come in, and Whack, Smack, and Boom. They start to show off their abilities. They each have their own unique abilities, but you'll see later on here, which I'll show you. So here they try to get rid of all the Tartar creeps with their regular abilities. Like Boom can eat things and then turn stuff into bombs in his stomach, which is kind of a cool ability. So he tries to eat one of the Tartar creeps here and uses the bomb to try to blow a bunch of them up. But Muckmouth is making them at a like right here, you can see he's making them at an unbelievable pace. And then finally we pull back and we see the final two members here, Manny Coleman, who's the human, and Mondo, who is the alien. They're both the intellectual types. And this is where we get a moment where they try to figure out what's going on. But also you get a little bit of the storyline on what's actually happening here. And, Mondo mentions that Manny used to be part of the Alchem group. So that was kind of like my way of setting up a little mystery there with their origin. Like, why is this guy helping them who's used to be part of the group they're fighting, basically, and just them. You see Mondo is kind of like a dick. Most intellectuals, like, they view everybody else as inferior to them, and that's sort of the case here, especially when two creatures that are kind of almost matched intellectual wise kind of butt heads, and so I wanted to show that relationship a little bit. You also get the first appearance of Mondo's adaptor, which is basically, it's always in the form of a spoon, but it can turn into other things. And I know it sounds like Adaptor, but it's like Adapt ORE, Adapt Or. So it has like that catchy title, and you get to see him make a gun with it, which is really cool, and try to blow some of the Tartar creeps away and shatter them. But of course, they're overwhelming. So basically, Mondo comes up with this idea, like, well, if we're gonna fight cavity creatures, let's get some toothbrush type, you know, mascots or dental to fight, cavities, So he decides to go to a dentist office. In the meantime, we get to see that the robots are not just three robots, but they can form into this giant robot named Mega Crunch. And this was inspired obviously by like Voltron and Force 5, all cartoons I grew up with giant robots in them. And I figured, like most giant robots, they have their sayings like, "I'll form the head," or, that kind of thing. So I thought vitamins, minerals, taste combined for ultimate satisfaction, which is also their cereals jingle. So I came up with all this back matter, figuring out everything, and also made it their robot cry from when they come all together into one form. So I thought that was really fun. And you get to see all these designs by Frankie were brilliant. Like the robot just looks cool and really cool. And the other thing I tried to put into place to add sort of a weakness to the robot is I wanted there to be a time limit. So they only can hold this form for 5 minutes. So it puts like an added pressure on any given situation that they got to defeat the villain in that 5 minute period, or else they come apart. And then the robots have to go into this cooldown mode for 5 minutes in order to recover, in which they can't fight. They're just shut down. So really, really got to think about deploying Mega Crunch because of all those factors. So I wanted to put something in place so that they're not just pulling it out every 2 minutes. You got to really think about it when you want to take out Mega Crunch. But it was a first issue, so we got to throw everything out at the reader. Try to get them try to get them to know all these cool characters within 24 pages. So that's what we did. So you get to see Mega Crunch. Instead of a sword, he can bring out this giant wrench. It's like an energy wrench. Basically functions as a sword, and you get to see him smash some Tartar creeps here. And then in the meantime, Mondo's made it to the dental office, and now he's taken some of the formula. The formula is like this liquid 3D printing formula that is what created the Mighty Mascots. But the Alchem group, which is the group that they escaped from, has taken the formula and put in some like impurities and all this other stuff so that whenever a mascot or anything is made from the 3D printing formula, it has these impurities in it that kind of make the creature or whatever is created from it kind of like evil or just not caring and very like anti society, that kind of thing. Is very like maybe not evil but not very selfish and for themselves. So when when the mascots try to use the formula, they did not know that that was inside of the formula here. So when Mondo's looking through all these dental magazines like Highlights, remember Highlights? And finds something they wants to use, and he sprays the formula on it, not knowing it has those impurities. So in the meantime, the Mega Crunch here is battling, and yeah, and they use their ultimate weapon, which is the Petra Beam, which is this like like most giant robots have like that big chest weapon that comes out. So they try using it on the Tartar creeps, And of course they have to go down into shutdown mode because it's been 5 minutes, and then the robots become inactive because they're out of it. But of course, Muckmouth is still creating more tartar creeps, and the battle is just beginning, and that mascots are starting to waver and tire out here a little bit. And then Mondo and Manny start communicating with each other, and Mondo is waiting for his creation in that magazine to come and rescue everybody. Honey Flakes is holding off everybody, and he was planning on retreating, but of course the overwhelming odds of the Tartar Creeps holds them back. And then finally Mondo's creation emerges, which is the Crown Team. And behold the power. So I if you ever seen the Crest commercials from the 70s, they were animated. They were really cool, and this is what the team looked like, the Crest team. So I figured I would do the Crown Team. And I love that Ian made everybody very diverse. You know, we got a couple of women, couple of people of color, and then of course flawless. They're all like named after, they're almost like adjectives, is like flawless, faultless, you know, things like that. And it kind of comes off like they're very like culty, like cult like. I didn't mean that, but I wanted them to, like, you know, be beholden to cleanliness and brushing and things like that. So because most toothpaste mascots were like that, you know, got to brush your teeth, got to clean, you know, get rid of that tartar, get rid of that plaque, you know. So that's what I wanted these guys. But the thing that adds a little impurity to the mascots kind of gives them this bent of evil. And as you can see, Mondo's created an even bigger problem with these guys because now they want to cleanse everything, you know, including the mascots. Anything that they see as dirt, you know, or they just want to clean everything and purify it. So, and that's kind of like how we end issue 1 with this little twist where Mondo thinks he was saving everybody, but in reality, he created even a worse problem. So that, you know, it was a nice little cliffhanger, you know, I thought. And I would say if you ever read issues 1, 2, and 3, they go together really well. You know, there's a beginning, middle, and end. There's character arcs, especially with Manny and Honey Flakes and stuff like that, and you get to see how they become who they are and how they frame, you know, like their superhero journey, basically, you know. So I have 1, 2, and 3 on my website. I also have the collected edition, the trade paperback of 1, 2, and 3 available for like $10 there as well. And all these books just are on Global Comics now as well. So if you want to check out Mighty Mascots, or I hope you know, if you've read it, you know, you found some of this enlightening. You know, I love talking about these characters, and I love creating books with these guys. You know, it's like it's just it's a throwback to my childhood when, you know, cartoons and everything. You know, so that's what this book is my love letter to Saturday morning. So. But all right, everybody. So it looks like this video ended up being about 24 minutes. I'll probably break it into 2 parts because it's just easier to get someone to watch 2 10-minute videos rather than, you know, 1 25-minute video. So, but thanks for joining me. I hope you like this. If you like this, comment, let me know, because I can do all the issues and talk to you about what was going on and what my thought was behind everything. And yeah, and we can even go through some of my older comics as well. So, and then most importantly, read some comics, everyone. All right, great. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.